High above Peebles High Street, in the attic rooms of the old Veitch's building, are the offices of Bobby Barr, private detective. Missing wives and wayward husbands, corrupt officials and just plain old dirty dealings, he's seen it all. If you need someone to follow that cab, rifle through that drawer, climb through the window of that empty apartment and dig up the dirt, call into the offices of Bobby Barr. Cash in advance, expenses are extra, and don't call on a Wednesday afternoon if you know what's good for you.
It was another Tuesday morning, and I was in my fourth coffee of the day. My landlady had been on the phone 3 times already, asking when she was going to get the last month's rent. So I was sending out some final demands on some old bills, seeing if I could scrape enough cash together to keep her quiet. It was raining outside. It's always raining these days. I looked out across the street, wondering whether I could make it over to Greg's without getting drenched. That's when I spotted her, crossing the street under a bright red umbrella. She stood out from the crowd with that elegant walk, these high heels, and a dress that looked like it had been spray painted on her body, fresh that morning. I knew she was coming to see me, the way she looked behind her anxiously, the way she didn't belong in Peebles High Street, the way she didn't belong in my office or even in my arms. I didn't have long to wait before I heard these high heels coming along the corridor. Come in, the door's open.
Mr. Barr, the private detective.
She was tall, she was blonde, and her red dress was so tight I could read the day of the week embroidered on her underwear. It said Wednesday. She was a day ahead of herself and hung in the air like a promise. She sat down and took out a cigarette holder almost as long as her umbrella.
Have you got a light?
I pushed across a lighter with a heavy glass ashtray, the same one that got Freddie Fingers McTavish put away for 20 years after he used it to kill his brother for the insurance money. He got 13 years left to serve, so he's promised to come and do the same to me.
Mr. Barr, I'm told you can look into things discreetly. Can you do that for me?
Depends what it is, Miss...
Gift, Mr. Barr. I'm Amber Gift.
Pleased to meet you, Miss Gift. What seems to be the problem?
It's my shop, Mr. Barr. I've had to close down my shop on the High Street.
A lot of shops are closing down these days, Miss Gift. What kind of shop was it?
A gift shop. Gifts gift shop.
Yeah, I know the one, down beside the opticians, wasn't it? Sold gifts.
Mostly gifts, yes.
So why did you close down? No one buying gifts these days.
On the contrary, Mr. Barr. Gifts are big business in this town. My shop was so busy I had 3 assistants just to keep restocking the shelves. I was just about to open a second gift shop at the other end of the street. Gifts too.
So what happened?
My landlord cancelled the lease. He gave me some excuse about wear and tear, but I did nothing wrong. And now I've heard he's rented it out to someone else.
Who?
He won't say, and that's why I'm talking to you, Mr. Barr. You see, my shop is the 3rd one to close down this month, and all for the same reason.
Cancelled leases?
Cancelled leases. So, will you take the case?
I'll look into it, Miss Gift. No guarantees, of course, and it's cash up front if you don't mind.
Of course.
She reached down and slowly lifted the hem of her dress. She got as far as her red lace suspenders, then extracted a roll of £20 notes. She peeled off half a dozen and handed them over. They were still warm.
Will this be enough?
Plenty. Thanks, Miss Gift.
Call me.
And with that, she was gone. I headed out down the street to visit a lawyer friend of mine. Hamish has his ear to the ground, and if anything was knowing any dodgy business with property leases, he'd know about it.
I don't know anything about it, Bobby. Property leases? No, I've not heard anything.
Come on, Hamish. 3 shops shut down in a month, and they've rented right back out to mysterious tenants.
That's just unlucky, Bobby. Anyway, did you go to the Highland Games?
No, I didn't go to the Highland Games. When did I ever go to the Highland Games?
Well, just making conversation, Bobby. Well, there was nothing else. I've got work to do.
He was lying, of course, but I could tell he was scared too. I wasn't going to get anything from him, so I headed round the back to one of the shut-up shops to see if anything was going on. I managed to get the window open and climbed inside.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing here?
I'm a power company. Come to read the meter.
Oh, okay. Meet us through here.
The place was completely empty, but along one wall was a huge stack of small wire cages. He led me through to the other room, and more cages were stacked against the far wall.
Now meet us in that cupboard.
So, you're the owner?
Right, this is my place, yeah? I just signed over the lease.
Oh, really? Who's leasing it?
That's none of your business. Hey, what about that meter reading? Shouldn't you have a machine or something?
I left it in the cart, so how come the lease has changed, and what are all these little cages?
Hey, what's with all the questions, mister? I don't think you're here to read the meter at all. Who are you?
I'm Bobby Barr, private investigator.
I've got nothing to say to you. Go on, get out.
I took a quick last look around and noticed something odd on the windowsill. Is that an egg?
What? Oh, sure. That's an egg.
And feathers on the floor in that corner over there?
Nothing wrong with feathers. Now get out of here before I put a bullet in your leg.
He'd pulled a gun from his coat pocket and I took the hint. As I walked away up the street, I reached into my jacket and took out the egg I'd swiped from the windowsill on my way out. There was something familiar about this. Something whispering at the back of my brain. I'd seen eggs before. But at the office, I made a couple of phone calls and one name came up 3 times in conversation. Of course, it was obvious. Why hadn't I thought of it before? It was time to pay a visit to my old adversary, Johnny the Chicken Man.
Who cancelled the lease on Miss Gift's gift shop? Is Miss Gift all that she seems? Will our hero work out where the egg came from? And who is Johnny the Chicken Man? Find out the answers to these and many other questions when we rejoin Bobby Barr, Private Eye, later in the show. High above Peebles High Street, in the attic rooms of the old Veitch building, are the offices of Bobby Barr, Private Detective. Missing wives and wayward husbands, corrupt officials and just plain old dirty dealings, he's seen it all. If you need someone to follow that cab, rifle through that drawer, climb through the window of that empty apartment and dig up the dirt, call into the offices of Bobby Barr. Cash in advance, expenses are extra, and don't call on a Wednesday afternoon if you know what's good for you.
I was on Edinburgh Road, heading north. I was following the trail of a series of cancelled property leases on Peebles High Street when I had a lucky break. Whoever closed down Miss Amber's gift shop left an egg on the windowsill in the back room. A few phone calls were enough to confirm a suspicious pattern. 4 high street shops closed in as many months, and all of them leased back out to a mysterious new tenant. A hunch told me that my old enemy, Johnny the Chicken Man, had something to do with it.
In half a mile, turn left.
The Chicken Man's got a property empire as big as Texas, but I knew I could find him at his remote fortress up there on the Leadburn Moor. With the incriminating egg in one pocket and an automatic in the other, I was ready for anything.
Turn left.
I pulled up at the heavily fortified gates and pressed the intercom button. I'm here to see the boss. Is he in? No appointment. I'm from the Honours Committee. We're considering a second knighthood. I went up along the long driveway, past huge metal sheds like aircraft hangars. Feathers floated in the wind like cigarette ash. The place smelled like the back of my wardrobe. I parked the car out of sight and walked up to the reception desk. The Chicken Man was already waiting for me.
Bobby Barr, what's all this about? They told me you were from the Honours Committee. You don't look like a civil servant.
What does a civil servant look like?
Well, not like that, anyway. How long have you had that coat?
Belonged to my mother. Now listen, Johnny, my client's shop lease got cancelled and I think you had something to do with it.
I don't know what you're talking about. Now, who's your client?
That's confidential.
I bet it was that gift shop woman, wasn't it?
So you...
I knew she was trouble.
You do know something about it.
Aha, so it is her! You can't pin anything on me, Barr.
I reached slowly into my coat pocket. I saw two of the chicken man's thugs move towards me and draw their pistols, but he waved his hand and they backed off. I took out the egg. Recognise this, Johnny?
It's an egg. So what?
I found it in one of these shops, along with bird cages and feathers. I know it's you. What are you up to in the Peebles High Street?
All right, you might as well know. You're not getting out of here alive anyway. These boys will make sure you process the chicken feed before the end of the day.
Chicken feed's my livelihood, Johnny, and I wouldn't be so sure about that. So go on. Why all that shop leases? What's going on?
My latest planning application for a chicken shed got knocked back last month. I thought staging a Tory coup on the council would guarantee me whatever I wanted. Well, they've gone all moral on me, wanting contributions to schools and roads. So instead I'm taking over all the shops along Peebles High Street and turning them all into one big chicken shed. There's nothing illegal about what I'm doing, Barry. You can't stop me. And nor can that gift shop woman.
You won't get away with this, Johnny.
It's Sir Johnny to you, Bar. And who's going to stop me? You?
I'll tell you who's going to stop you. Queen Elizabeth II.
Ah, what are you talking about?
I've left a sealed envelope in a safe deposit box to be sent to Her Majesty the Queen in the event of my mysterious death or disappearance.
What's in it?
Enough clues for her to piece together what you're up to on the high street. I don't think your precious knighthood will last long once she finds out.
Why? What does she care about Peebles High Street shops?
Come on, John. Where do you think Her Majesty gets her best shoes from, huh? Rogerson, of course. Where do you think she gets her steak pies from? Forsyth's, of course. You may not advertise her loyal warrants, but everyone knows that the best meat and the best shoes come from the Peebles High Street.
You're bluffing, Bar. I don't believe a word of it.
Oh no? Take a look at this photograph.
What? What am I looking at here? A queue of people outside a butcher's shop. So what?
Look again. There, towards the back of the queue, small woman, headscarf, elegant shoes.
But it can't be. She would... But it is. Now I take a closer look. It's her. It really is her.
I walked back to the car with my hand holding the gun in my pocket, but no one stopped or tried to turn me into chicken feed. In exchange for my silence, the chicken man agreed to drop his plan, hand back the leases to the shops and contribute £500,000 for schools and road improvements. Back at the office, I put in a call to Miss Gift to tell her the good news.
Hello?
Miss Gift, it's Bobby Barr. You'll be pleased to know you've got the lease back in your gift shop.
That's wonderful news, Mr. Barr. I don't know how I can ever repay you.
Actually, I've got a couple of suggestions.
The thing is, Mr. Barr, I've decided to move away from Peebles.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Yes, and you see, I've unexpectedly come into some money and I'm going to open a high-class restaurant in Overlooking, specialising in French omelettes, pancakes, quiches and other egg-based products.
Is that so? An egg-based restaurant?
It's the latest thing in catering. Look, I've got to go now. Thanks for everything, Mr. Barr.
Don't mention it. I put the phone down and stared out the window. It was raining again, and I wondered if I could make it across the roads to Greg's without getting drenched. Then I thought, what the hell? I headed out for a sausage roll and a cigarette.
Hi, above Peebles High Street, in the attic rooms of the old Veitch's building, are the offices of Bobby Barr, private detective. If you need someone to follow that cab, rifle through that drawer, climb through the window of that empty apartment and dig up the dirt, you know who to call. Tune in again next time for another thrilling adventure with Bobby Barr, private detective.